Inside the mind of Brandon T. Adams.
What's going on, everyone? Brandon T. Adams here. And this is 10 years. 10 years of podcasting. Wow. I've been podcasting for 10 years. Started this in 2015. And now after over 500 episodes, close to almost 700 episodes between the multiple podcasts I've done over the years, I'm going to share the top 5 things I've learned and through podcasting that could bring value to you in learning how to leverage a podcast show, how to use it to grow your business, how to have fun with it, all the things I've learned over the years. I started with the University of Young Entrepreneurs, episode 1, how to turn your ideas into a reality. If you want to go listen to it, I definitely am a different person. Shy, I think I had 100 different command T's, which if you don't know what that is, it's cutting out the ums and the uhs and cutting out editing in GarageBand. But since then, have turned the University of Young Entrepreneurs into the Live to Grind podcast, now inside the mind of Brandon T. Adams. I also created the Brandon T. Adams audio experience, which is repurposed content, some of my best episodes and new episodes, me kind of sharing my thoughts, and then did the Keys of the Crowd podcast and other podcasts as well. So 10 years of podcasting, what have I learned? What did it do for me? And how can it actually help you in thinking for your podcast? The first one is, this is the one I leverage the most, is connections. Podcasting gives you the ability to build connections. Some of the first interviews I did when I was traveling the country, I was sleeping out of my truck. I didn't have much money, out of my white pickup truck with snow camo. I would literally go across the country, interview somebody in their office. I would set up mics. I had my Zoom H6. I had my Blue mics, headphones, and even a Canon 70D that would get the video. I would interview people in their office, and then I would go back. I would go edit in my truck, sleep in my truck, and then the next day go to the next location. I did this for a few years. 2015, I once went to LA and back. I did a 10-day trip, slept in my truck every night, ate canned food and $5 footlongs, and interviewed people around the country. And so this was my way to build connections. And some of those people I did business with, some of those people I'm friends with today, one of them being John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneurs on Fire. I had him on my podcast at the end of the show. I said, hey, John, how can I help you? I'm a crowdfunding expert back in the day. And that led to a conversation to helping him raise money for his book, The Freedom Journal. On Kickstarter, we did $500,000 in a month. And then it led to many other endeavors. So making connections. Podcasting is a way to super connect with people. When you have them on your show, you build rapport, you build a relationship, and then you promote them to your audience. And that ultimately leads to an opportunity to connect further, do business together, whatever it may be. So I think the number one thing that's underutilized with podcasting is leveraging a podcast show to build connections with people and build rapport with them. So that's number one. The second thing to leverage for podcasting I learned over the last 10 years is content. Content. Content's king. So repurposing content, I believe in getting the video and audio. So the audio can go up through your hosting site, could go to Spotify now, SoundCloud, it could Apple, you name it, all the different podcast platforms, iHeartRadio. And so these are the different ways on the audio side. The video side, you can put on YouTube. You can cut up the interviews. So I could do a 45-minute interview, and that could turn into 15 pieces of content that you can put on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it, X. Multi-purposing the content. So content is king. Getting a lot of content that you can do in long form, and then you can multi-purpose it out, which helps you build out your brand. The third thing is brand association. So when I interviewed people, I'd get influential people on my podcast. At the early part of my podcasting career, I got inventors on board. So I got inventors, I got athletes, I got other podcasters on. I got people from all walks of life, YouTube stars from Jake Paul to other YouTube stars I can't even think of right now, to Kevin Harrington or the Rizzle Sharks from Shark Tank, to getting Lewis Howes' School of Greatness podcast on, to many other people that were on my podcast. Some people that you don't even know, but they had the most interesting stories. And so when I did those interviews, I actually did for one of my podcast interviews, I did with Lewis Howes in his house by the School of Greatness sign where he did his other interviews. And I had a film crew come in. And so they multiple camera angles, and that it gave me the ability to multi-purpose that content out, but have it for brand association, be associated with other experts in your industry. So for you, interviewing people that can put you in association with them through that content you have on camera, but also on audio, which will help open up more doors for you. So, and on that point, when I really got more into TV, I started podcasting, but then I realized I want to do more video content. So I was doing more in-person interviews, but then that led to creating the show Ambitious Adventures, which was a reality show. Think about interviews / fun all in a video format. So did more of that, then Success in Your City, Live to Grind, all these different shows that took me from podcasting more to video production. So podcasting was the beginning. Okay, that was 3. The 4th one is giving yourself really a peace of mind, your own sanity, your own voice. That's one of the most, for me, most important things to me is beyond doing the interviews. The best interviews are the ones where you're most curious and you really want to enjoy interviewing the person. You want to ask them questions. And so for me, I've enjoyed being able to just get access to learn from great people, but also me sharing my own thoughts and inspiration with the world through my solo episodes. It's actually crazy. I got some crazy episodes of the hundreds that I've done. In the early days, if you go and listen to the first 100 episodes, man, I shared some stuff out there. I just was real about my life and what I was going through. It was like a journal for me. And so having your own solo podcast, and that's what more of Inside the Mind of Brandon T. Adams is me just sharing my thoughts, sharing my mind, my perspective on business, how I look at life, how I look at success, so you can consume it and think about your own life and have a perspective from me, from somebody who's traveling the country, doing these different business deals, filming, you name it. And so it's my own outlet to express myself, my thoughts, my viewpoints, which makes me happy. And so think about how you can use podcasting really just to have your own peace of mind and your own voice. And then the last one. So again, number 1, connections, 2, content, 3, brand association, 4, peace of mind, being able to express yourself, 5, platform. Building your own platform. Some of the greatest people out there have done this. You look at Tim Ferriss show, you look at Joe Rogan, you look at Lewis Howes, you look at John Lee Dumas. They've used podcasting to build out an audience and a massive platform to be of influence to people and to be able to monetize it, influence people, and create an impact. And so that's what podcasting has done. And so for me over the years, hundreds of episodes, hundreds of thousands of downloads, and also building out my own social following from social media, probably anywhere from 70 to 80,000 followers between the platforms, and then on YouTube over 100,000 subscribers, and also an email list and everything else. But it's not, no, I don't have millions of followers, but I have the right followers. I have the right listeners. I have an audience that knows me for being an entrepreneur that helps other entrepreneurs in business. 10 years of building that brand, 10 years of that content, 10 years of building a platform of now people that want to work with me or refer things to me because they've been avid followers, listeners. And so for you, using a podcast show to have your own platform, have your own voice, and be able to help other people. And so that's been my journey on podcasting, from doing interviews in literally hotel rooms to in vehicles to offices to outside to places around the country. I've learned so much. And so for you, do a podcast show around things you like, your curiosity, use it for content, use it to build connections, use it to build out your brand association, and really establish yourself as an expert in your space and have fun along the way. Because if it's not fun, there's no reason to doing it. You know, I slowed down on my podcasting a few years back because I really wasn't interested in interviewing people anymore. I wasn't excited anymore. And that's when I went more into the TV show side of things with Success in Your City, because I was more excited about creating video content, video production. And so then now in the most recent years, I've got more excited about just sharing my own thoughts inside my mind of Brandon T. Adams, of an entrepreneur, sharing my journey and sharing my lessons along the way. So thank you to all of you listening. 10 years, some of you. If you've been listening for 10 years, you got to send me an email. I'd love to send something special to you. All you got to do is send me an email at brandon@brandonTadams.com or direct message me on social media at Brandon T. Adams. And it's just reminded me, it's funny, early in my years, it was Brandon T. Adams 18. It took me a while to get that handle. But thank you for listening to me. Thank you for following. If you got value out of this, let me know. Feel free to share this out. It's quite a journey. 10 years of podcasting, a decade. That's rare, but I'm grateful for the journey. And here's to the next 10 years. And as always, here's to your success.